So what I'm talking about tonight is about grassroots action, and I'll just tell you a little bit about what we've been doing in Queensland. We're a newly formed group. Leah Whiston and I formed this group in May, and what prompted us to do that is I guess many people in Queensland at least would know about the stickering of Shannon Fentiman's sign, the Attorney General, in May. I won't name the person that I was with who actually did the stickering, but a week after we did that, Shannon Fentiman came out and actually gave us gold, the way she responded to a sticker, which was the dictionary definition of woman, an adult human female. She stated that it was basically hate speech and that we did a lot of damage to many people in that community. So the following week, what we did, there were 5 of us that got together and we had a big banner which said woman, adult, human, female. It was like a double bed sheet, really quite large, and then smaller call flutes which just had the dictionary definition on that. And we went into an area outside of Shannon Fentiman's office, who's also the Minister for Women. She's no longer Attorney General, she's Minister for Health. And we thought that the public may not know a lot about this issue, and we were quite surprised by the positive response we got, and it was very empowering. And so after that, because even Jordan Peterson tweeted about this, and he's got 4 million followers, so it really did make Shannon Fentiman look quite stupid, really, to react like that and to make such a big deal out of it. So Leah and I got together and we formed Woman Up. And it's just about actions. That's what we do. But Leah in June made this incredible phone call to a plastic surgery in Brisbane because she saw on Reddit a 15-year-old talking about how she had a double mastectomy. So Leah rang up and she was told that they would do double mastectomies on girls as young as 13. And so Leah wanted evidence. So she rang back and she spoke to a different person and she put it on record. And they did actually confirm to Leah that they will do double mastectomies or top surgery on 13-year-old girls. While we don't have any evidence that they have done that on 13-year-olds, we definitely know that they're doing it on 15-year-olds. So what we did is... first of all, the Daily Mail reported on it, and that was excellent, that article. And even there was a call by leading surgeons calling for a national medical regulator to set clear and specific guidelines. And Mark Ashton, he's the counsellor of Australasia College of Surgeons at the Melbourne University. So that was a positive outcome to that. So then we went outside the surgery and we did an action, and there was a banner and it just said, the name of this surgery will do double mastectomies on minors. And it's a very, very woke area of Brisbane, and we weren't sure what we would get from that. But it was about 75% positive. So we're very happy with that. And then we went back about 3 weeks later and did it again, and the positive response was even greater than that. So it just goes to show you get out there and you know the public is not supporting gender ideology. So we just want to empower women to get out there and do these sorts of actions. It can be a very successful action with even 2 people. If you have a big banner, it's very, very effective. It doesn't have to be professionally done. It's just a sheet with the words on it. So then for the Women's Rights Network in July, we stood outside of the FIFA Women's World Cup and we were giving out leaflets, fantastic leaflets from the Women's Rights Network. And it was, again, very, very positive, but the FIFA security weren't happy with us being there. And they tried to tell us on the first night that FIFA controlled the streets of Brisbane in a 2-kilometre radius and told us that we weren't welcome, which was, of course, not true. They did have some control around the venue, but not what they were considering. They felt very threatened that we were there. And the leaflet just was saying the biological advantages of men over women in women's sports. So then, we do a speaker's corner in Brisbane each month, and we're hoping that will grow. So that's another action. We record that and we put it up on YouTube as well. And we did another action recently outside Shannon Fentiman's office. Again, very, very positive. And just on Friday, I'm sure that you've heard about Gillian Spencer from the Queensland Children's Hospital, or I guess people in Australia would have heard. And she's currently got 71 doctors that have signed a letter to Shannon Fentiman asking for an inquiry into the gender-affirming care model in Brisbane, in Queensland, and Shannon Fentiman's refusing to meet. So what we did on Friday is we stood near the Children's Hospital, and we again had these two massive banners, and we had quite a few people there then. I think it was about maybe 8. And once again, we caused a bit of a stir. The hospital staff were coming out. There were doctors, nurses, staff that were there trying to intimidate us, with taking photos of us. But the interesting thing was, you could tell they were doctors. They had their stethoscope around their shoulders. And, of course, whether or not they felt really good about the action we were doing, they couldn't come up and say, oh, you're doing a great job because of the way Gillian's been suspended. And that was sort of, a dog whistle to other people within the Children's Hospital. Don't speak out against gender ideology. So, so we've been doing all those actions, and that's just from May. And we did our first street action, except for Speaker's Corner, in July, and we're still in August. And we just want to encourage women to get out there, even if there's 2 or 3 of you, just stand on a street. They're doing it in Melbourne as well. We did, with IWD, organise an action, and we supported that action. And it was at the National Labour Conference in Brisbane last weekend. God, I think, it was last weekend. The time just goes so quickly. And what happened there was, unfortunately, the Greens were there, and they were in opposition about the cost of, the rising cost of rent. So they were there protesting, saying they wanted rents frozen. We didn't anticipate that we would get such aggression from the Greens. So we don't go into an area generally where we think there's going to be any sort of risk. But they encircled us, and the police eventually had to break the circle and take us out safely. So, even the Greens Party is quite dangerous. So, and also, if you do actions, because there are these activists, there's a well-known antagonist in Brisbane, and they will try and hack you. So we do all our organising on Signal. So if you're going to do an action, I highly recommend that you do it on Signal where it's encrypted. And because there was this well-known antagonist, he did actually infiltrate, and they'll go to great lengths to infiltrate. So you really do need to make sure that you're safe. When you're doing the sort of pop-up street action, we do it for just about an hour. So we've never been at any risk at all. So we'd love to see in Queensland all the different regions of just women coming out and just doing these roadside actions, because it then says to you, because when you're sort of in this bubble on social media, you don't really understand what the public's reaction is to it, because all you're ever told is that the majority of the public support it. That's not what we've found. We've found well over 90% of people don't support it. And Angie Jones and a couple of women in Melbourne do street actions as well. And Angie said it's overwhelming down there as well. It's about 98%. So, and after we did the National Labour Conference, we all went onto the major overpass in the city, and we did banner drops for Save Women's Sports. And we got massive support there as well. So we just really want to encourage people, and it can be done cheaply. You just get, maybe if you've got old sheets or old call flutes which you can paint over, that sort of thing. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. And it is just so empowering, and the public love it. We get cheers, we get people beeping their horns, we get people clapping, singing out in support. It's just incredible. And then you realise that we can defeat this ideology. We just need to get out there, and once people see us out there, that will make them feel a bit more brave about going out. So really, that's just what I wanted to talk about is, so we started the group in May, and really did our first action on the 1st of July. And we've done quite a number now, and we're going to get out there hopefully every week or every 2 weeks. So I just want to encourage women to do that, and also men, because we've got support from men as well. That on Friday, when we did the one at the Children's Hospital, we had a man there that came and supported. So there's a lot of men that are just as opposed to this ideology as well. And if you can get people together, I can tell you, you'll make a big, big difference, and you'll come away from those actions and feel really good, because you know that what the politicians are telling us, what the trans lobby are telling us, it's not what the public are thinking. So that I just wanted to share that with you tonight. So thank you, Janet, and everyone for having me on tonight. So yeah, it's great. I hope you all sort of take advantage and do that.